What's up guys, Everything Apple Pro here, and today Apple has released the new iOS 9 GM or Gold Master Edition. This is pretty much the finalized version of iOS 9 pre-packaged in a beta. Also, iOS 9.1 Beta 1 has just been released. We don't even have iOS 9 out yet iOS 9.1 Beta 1 is already out in the wild for developers. So in this video, I'm going to be covering everything that's changed in both of these betas, in the Gold Master and iOS 9.1. And yes, there are differences between them. Not only that, I'm going to answer all of your questions because I know a lot of people right now are very confused. If you're on iOS 9 Beta 5, what do you do? If you're on the public beta, what do you do? How do you install this? I'll also be showing you guys how to install either iOS 9 GM, whether or not you're on a beta or on a stock 8.4.1 firmware, or if you guys want to install 9.1, I'll be showing you how to install that as well. Now for this video, you guys will need download links, and I'll have those right there. You do not need to be a registered developer. However, I would recommend doing it. It's like $5 to register your device because you can only update to a beta without being a developer. I mean, if you're registered, you can both restore and update to it, but that's at your own risk, guys. The Gold Master is pretty stable, and I'll get to that in just a second, but so far everything looks good. So I gotta say, today has been crazy. So many releases. The iPhone 6S, 6S Plus, iPad Pro, Apple Pencil, iPad Mini 4, the Apple TV 4, new Apple Watch finishes, new Apple Watch bands. Holy cow, there has been so much stuff today. And to top it all off, iOS 9 GM and 9.1 are here. So it's a lot of videos to make in one day. I apologize for that, but I wanted to cover everything and show you guys everything. So I've got iOS 9.1 and iOS 9 GM running on some devices. Let me go ahead and run through the changes with you guys and show you what's new in both of these firmwares and how to update and install them. So iOS 9 Gold Master is here running on my iPhone 6 Plus, and it's better. So far, reports say that the stability is a little bit better. You'll notice that it overall is a little bit more stable than the Beta 5. However, animations are still lacking. Sometimes there's a stutter like that when you open up the multitasking pane. You know, not everything is quick to respond, especially it was Control Center for me and Notification Center. I'd always get a stutter. So it actually is not as smooth as I thought it would be for a GM, but of course, between now and the public release in about a week or two, there will be some finalizations and it'll definitely get a lot better. The battery life is supposedly much better. So any errors, any issues with battery life drain, that has been focused out and fixed in this latest GM version. And just to show you guys what the build number looks like, I'm going to go ahead and open this guy up right here. So iOS 9 13A340. So as far as the storage goes, let me go ahead and show you what happened before and after updating. So this is before updating, 52.5 gigs available, capacity 55.5. After, 52.6 were available. So just 0.1 gigabytes were added back. Otherwise, the carrier was updated as well. So there actually was only one major difference noticed, and that's when you go into settings and you go into Siri and allow Hey Siri, there's now a new setup page. So this is actually for Siri in order to get used to your voice when you say Hey Siri. So that way when you say something else, sometimes in my car, someone will say, hey, are you serious? And it'll open up the Hey Siri pop-up right here. I think it's kind of funny. So this is pretty much right here, going to get Siri to know your voice to make it more accurate. Now there's no word whether or not the Hey Siri will be available without the cable on older devices, but I do hope that feature will arrive. So other than this, guys, iOS 9 GM is pretty bare bones. iOS 9.1 has more features than this. So overall, between now and the final release, we might be seeing a couple more features, but guys, I've already detailed so many things in iOS 9 that Apple didn't share, and I have many videos on that with my channel. So I want to answer a couple questions. If you're on iOS 9 Beta 5, how do you get the GM? Well, it's not available over the air. So if you go into here, you will not see an update, or from public beta 3. The only way to get the GM from here is to download it on your computer and manually select shift click update or option click update and update from your computer. I have tried to update and it works successfully. You just can't do it from your device for whatever reason. This has been an outstanding policy for Apple for a very long time. You usually can't do this. So you can only do it from your computer. Now, you don't need to restore to get the GM, just update. It's just simple. You know, I'll be showing you at the end of this video how to do that. And yes, you can install iOS 9 without being a developer. There's no need to have your device registered with UDID. You can still install the GM. However, you just can't restore to it. You can only update to it, and that will keep all of your data intact anyways. So why is there no over-the-air update? Well, usually Apple doesn't like to include the GM with the other betas because the other betas could leave stuff behind. They could really mess up your device to go from an earlier beta to a 9.8 GM, because GM is pretty much the finalized final version of iOS 9. There will be very little changes in between now and the final release. This is pretty much the real deal right here, and Apple wants to make sure that you have the best possible chance of getting a stable release by a clean install. But you can go ahead and update from your computer anyways. All right, so let's talk about iOS 9.1. I've got iPhone 5S's both running iOS 9.0 GM right here on the left and iOS 9.1 over here. And I want to show you guys something that surprised me was that iOS 9.1 actually has faster animations than iOS 9 GM. So even opening up into the multitasking pane, you'll notice that it popped up sooner and there's less stutter to do it. Now, opening up applications is very similar. There's actually a slight delay on the iOS 9 GM, whereas on the iOS 9.1, animations are smoother overall. That's what surprised me. So overall, I can't say about battery life, but definitely feels a little bit quicker on iOS 9.1. So iOS 9 actually has some new features, but before I jump into that, I wanted to show you that it actually took a lot of storage in order to install it. So I had 10.8 available. After installing, I only had 10.1. iOS 9.1, stealing my memory. Anyways, so there's something you'll be very happy to find is included in iOS 9.1. And that is a middle finger emoji. If you guys were wanting this guy, it's now available. You can now flip people off digitally, and it's included with iOS 9.1. This was so funny, guys. I don't know. I really enjoyed this. But there are over 80 new emojis, close to 100 on iOS 9.1. So let me go ahead and put these guys side by side to give you guys a little example of some of the new ones. And there's a new funny money face emoji. Where is this guy? Should be right here. I thought that was really funny. There's so many cool ones in here. Let me try and get in as close as possible. So I'm just gonna skim through this real quick to let you guys know what's new. So as you can see, it's been reorganized for some of the older ones, but there are some new ones in here as well. So that money one, this one with the little hands underneath it. The, oh yeah, I'm so impressed face right there. Let's see what else we got. So there are some new gestures with the hands as well. I thought that was really interesting. So the Spock one was there earlier, and there are some new ones pretty much in every section. You just have to be looking for them, but they are certainly there. So there's actually a new hockey stick one too. It's kind of interesting. There's so many new ones, and I thought that was really cool. So there's a new spider web one for just in time for Halloween. Guys, there's a lot in here, and definitely really welcome change. So when it comes to sport over here, as you can see, there's some new hockey ones, some new sport icons that were previously missing. Really cool. And an archery one. And I'm gonna go ahead and type out most of the ones that I can see on the notes so you guys can tell, but there's a lot. So here are all of the new emojis. This isn't even all of them. I try to get most of them, but I'm sure I missed a few. So let me dictate to you some of the new ones. So of course, there are some new smileys in there. There's some new gestures for writing. There's new animals. There's now a lion, a unicorn, a crab, a squirrel. There's some new ones for weather. There's a comet, some stormy, rainy ones, a taco, a hot dog, a slice of cheese, a burrito, champagne, popcorn, some new sports icons as well as volleyball, ping pong, hockey in there, snowboarding, ice skating, or no, that's skiing. There's archery, weightlifting, medals, and there's an admission 1 ticket, bicycle, landing, departing, actual airplanes. There's a satellite. There's new camping and nature ones, and railroad tracks and vacation. And overall, guys, that's great. I mean, a lot of these were missing, so it's great that we're getting another language in the form of emoticons right here. So a lot of emojis here, brand new ones, really cool change in iOS 9.1. And actually, if you look down, the grouping for the emojis is different now. Instead of an animal tab, you now have a nature tab, and you have a slightly different sport tab. It's just a guy running over here. So they've been regrouped and reorganized a little bit, but overall it makes it for a better emoji experience. So guys, there you go. That's iOS 9.1. So the major change right now is the emojis. I'm sure more will surface as time goes, but I could not locate anything else other than that. Now, iOS 9 is mainly for the iPad Pro. The iPad Pro is going to be launching when iOS 9.1 will just be releasing, so it makes sense that it would be custom tailored for the iPad Pro. So iOS 9.1 does add some emojis for other devices, actually more features than the iOS 9 GM version versus the Beta 5, and it's great to see. So let's go ahead and jump over to my computer, and I'm going to show you how to install either iOS 9 GM or iOS 9.1 Beta 1. All right, so guys, again, you will need to download these links for either iOS 9 GM or 9.1. Yeah, I know this is terrible. This is something Apple should have fixed. I have the worst of luck with the cables. Sorry guys, I don't have a better one on hand, but you can get the download links for those right there, and I will have a full guide on that link as well. But all you guys need to do once you have downloaded either iOS 9 GM or 9.1, all you guys need to do is go ahead and option and left click check for update, and go to where those files are downloaded, and you will see this guy right here. So go ahead and select whichever one you will be installing. It's the same process for either 9.1 beta 1 or 9.0 GM. Go ahead and select enter and select update. Make sure you're not clicking restore to it. If you restore, you will not be able to activate your device unless it's registered with a UDID. You'll have to downgrade back to 8.4.1. So this is easily reversible, guys. Don't even worry about getting stuck on these firmwares. You can always downgrade back to 8.4.1. So there you go. All right, so guys, there you go. I've shown you what's new with iOS 9 GM and 9.1 beta 1. So far, 9.1 beta 1 has the more exciting features, and of course, iOS 9 has a ton. It's only the difference between beta 5 and GM that we don't really see anything much different. So if there are any changes in the final version, I will be posting those as well on my channel, as well as any future 9.1 updates. Thanks for watching this video, guys. I really enjoy all of those new emojis, and we'll all be having fun with them very soon once 9.1 releases later in November with the iPad Pro. So have a great day, guys. Enjoy either iOS 9.0 GM or the 9.1 beta 1. Peace.